Welcome back to part 2 of our first time home buying series. Tax time is right around the corner, and that's an excellent time to save those funds and use those as a down payment for a new home.
So from this point forward, we have found the house. So you are excited at this point, and you're saying to me, I'm ready to put an offer in. What comes next? What comes next is that I pull recently sold comparables, and that is houses that are similar to the one that you want to put an offer in on that have sold recently. Why do we do that? We do that because you want my help as your realtor advocate to share with you the true value, today's market value of the home that you want to buy. And so we sit down and we review the recently sold comparables, and then you come up with, based on that information, the amount that you'd like to offer. And so we have some paperwork to sign, and so you are signing at that point a legally binding document to buy the home, which is an exciting and scary time. With that, you will need an earnest money deposit, and that amount is dependent upon the purchase price, but most of them are between $500 and $1,000. Earnest money means that you are giving good faith money to show the buyer that you are very serious about buying their property. Also within that contract, we identify what you want to convey, which means what you want to go along with the purchase of the house. Usually that includes appliances, refrigerator, stove, microwave, dishwasher, sometimes washer and dryer, and sometimes you like the curtain window treatment, so we can ask for that. Additionally, at times, not all the time anymore, but at times the buyer will ask the seller to pay for some of their closing costs. So all those factors go in. And rest assured that when you buy a home, you are going to be having a home inspection, and so we'll have a home inspection addendum in there, and that safeguards you to make sure that you know exactly everything you need to know about the house that you're going to purchase. And then the final item for your offer would be when you want to close, a close date. And if you're renting, if you are in some kind of other contract with a rental contract, then you need to keep that in mind. Otherwise, we usually close within 45 days of the offer. So we submit the offer to the seller's agent and we wait. And it's hard to do, but we do. We wait and then we get a response. The response will either be a counter to your offer, in which case the negotiations go back and forth until both parties agree, or sometimes sellers will agree to your offer as written, which is beautiful, and at that point we have a ratified contract. And as soon as we're ratified, I send your contract over to your lender. So, Karina, take it away.
Sounds good. When we get that contract, I set up an appointment for you to come in and meet with me and bring certain documentation like your W-2s, tax returns, pay stubs, and asset information. You bring those in and we sit down and we go over the necessary disclosures to start your loan. One of the most important documents that we go over is your good faith estimate. So you have a very good idea of what everything is going to look, how much money you need to bring to closing, and very importantly, what your payment will look like. And then from that point, I take your file and it goes into processing. So we verify your employment information, and then from that point, we order your appraisal. And what an appraisal is basically it's a report that an appraiser does to make sure that the value is there in your home, to make sure that you are paying a fair amount for the home. And then we get your underwriting approval from the underwriter, and I reach out to you and let you know of any further documentation that is needed for the file. And from that point we go to closing, and your closing will take place at either a title company or an attorney's office, and they are kind of the quarterback of the home loan process, and that is where you'll sign all of your documentation. So Jan, what else needs to happen before closing?
Okay, the home inspection. And again, that is where you hire a third-party home inspector whose job is it to find anything and everything that would be wrong with the home. So, and then that'll come back and you could ask the seller to fix things that you find. And after that, then it's the day of closing, the morning of closing usually. We have a pre-closing walkthrough where it's an exciting time where we go in and we make sure the house looks as it did when you put the offer in. and then we go to closing, and it's just a big celebration and a big sigh of relief that the entire process has come to a successful close.
Well, that wraps up our first time home buying series. We look forward to seeing you next week on The Real Estate Girls Around Town.
Bye-bye.
Bye.